phone? I muted you already.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll get started shortly. If you can please keep yourself on mute throughout the presentation, that would be appreciated. We're going to wait a couple minutes and let any other stragglers come in, and then we'll get rolling. Thank you. While we're waiting, if you can put where you're joining us from in the chat, the city and state, or if it's Washington, you can just actually city and state, because we have people joining us from all over if we're lucky. Got Auburn, Washington, and I know who that is. Ellensburg, home to Central Washington. McConnell Theater. Moses Lake. Moses Lake is at Big Bend Community College. Randall Hall here in Ellensburg. All right, and we are in dress rehearsal for the Telltale Gaze. Okay, it's 8:03. We are recording, by the way, so this presentation will be available. Today's Wednesday, let's say Friday on, hopefully by Friday, on the Astronomy Club YouTube channel. There'll be more information about that towards the end. As I said beforehand, please keep yourself muted. Our presenter has a special section of his presentation specifically to answer questions. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat and he will address them when he gets to that part. Eric, are you ready?
Let me get screen sharing, and after that I'll be
I'm
ready.
making you the co-host right now, so you should have screen sharing available to you.
Okay. Here is this.
There you go.
And view full screen. Okay. Hello and welcome to my presentation. Today we are looking at how climate change and astronomy interact. It's a little thing I like to call climate gazing. So, first thing I'm going to look at is what is climate change and how does it affect us? It has been known since 1960 that humans have been negatively impacting the Earth's climate. We are actively trapping greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, and climate change has always changed on Earth, but with our influence, the process has been expedited. One of the big things I wanted to look at was environmental impact. So there's a lot of evidence to show for climate change, and these factors are serious, and we're going to take a look at some to get a basis for what's happening. Here we can see just what kind of effect we are having on the global temperature of the Earth. This is a chart showing the temperature trend from 1990 through 2019. A fun fact is that 2019 was the second hottest year on record globally. These temperatures are becoming a breeding ground for droughts and wildfires, evidence we've seen and are seeing most recently this past summer and fall. Oceanic temperature rise. Data from the NOAA and the IPCC reveals that the ocean has been absorbing 93% of the excess heat caused by greenhouse gases since the 1970s. This has caused the oceanic temperature to increase at a rate of 0.13 degrees Celsius per decade. Here on the chart, we can see data from the past 100 years. Reports also predict that it is likely to increase the mean global oceanic temperature of 1 to 4 degrees Celsius by the year 2100. Looking at shrinking ice sheets, because the increase in oceanic and atmospheric temperatures, new data has shown the Antarctic ice sheets are shrinking at historical rates. According to an article published by KVPS, the ice sheets have shrank by more than 4,000 gigatons since 1994. For reference, 1 gigaton is about 1 billion tons. Because of this alarming rate of shrinking, it has in turn caused the sea levels to rise, which is the next thing we're going to look at. Rising sea levels. With the oceanic warming continuing, as well as atmospheric warming, sea levels will continue to rise at rates much faster than the current century. According to an article published by the National Oceanic Service, the global sea level has been rising over the past century, and the rate at which it is rising has increased in the past few decades. An example would be taken from 2014, when the global sea level was 2.6 inches higher than the 1993 average. Sea levels continue to rise about 1/8 of an inch per year. And the final environmental thing I wanted to look at was extreme weather events. In the early 2000s, a new field of climate change research began exploring humans' impact on extreme weather events. According to the carbonbrief.org article I found, there's some pretty terrifying statistics. And here's some of those statistics. 69% of the 355 extreme weather events and trends included in the study were found to be more likely by human-caused climate change. 9% of events or trends were made less likely or less severe by climate change, meaning 78% of all events experienced some human impact. The remaining 22% of events and trends showed no discernible human influence or were inconclusive. Heat waves account for 47% of such events, while droughts and heavy rainfall or floods make up 15%. Of the 125 attribution studies that have looked at extreme heat around the world, 93% found that climate change made the event or trend more likely or more severe. And now we're going to look at future impact. If we don't shape up, these things will continue to get increasingly more severe. This, as well as some new implications. There will be longer drought periods as temperatures continue to rise. Wildfires will become more severe and more frequent due to longer drought periods and higher temperatures. This is something we are currently experiencing a little preview of and have been for the past summer. Finally, tropical storms. Tropical storms will increase in number, duration, and intensity as temperatures continue to rise. Now, finally, what people have probably been waiting for. How does climate change affect astronomy? Now that we've had a bit of debriefing on climate change and its environmental impacts, it's time to look at how those impacts affect astronomy. You would be surprised at how significant some of these are. Wildfires. We all experienced it here in Ellensburg well as many other parts of the country. We woke up to find that the AQI was at hazardous levels and the air was filled with ash, and it wasn't clouds that covered the night sky that day. It was evidence of a tragedy still taking place. As of recently, increased wildfires have negatively impacted our ability to view the night sky. This is a proven result of climate change. If this trend continues, the pollutants in the air will only increase and prevent us from doing further astronomical research and observations. As you can see by this chart, which was sourced from a study published by the Congressional Research Service, we've had a steady increase in the amount of area burned since 1990, despite there being fewer fires in total. This is of grave concern to the astronomical community, as these fires have even come close to jeopardizing historic astronomical facilities. In August, wildfires kept creeping closer to the historic Lick Observatory Center near San Jose, California. Astronomers watched as flames edged towards the facility. Luckily, firefighters kept the facility as well as several telescopes safe, but it was too close of a call for comfort. Something that impacts these wildfires is temperature increases. So that's what we're going to look at next. Not only do temperature increases increase the likelihood of these fires, but the increasing temperatures have also been directly affecting the equipment we use to study our brilliant night skies. We have a climate problem. Global warming isn't only increasing wildfires, but also increasing the strength of hurricanes that physically threaten many observatories. A direct threat to our ability to see the night skies happens to be a direct link to these temperature increases. Experts warn that as the Earth continues to heat up, that some of the most advanced telescopes will literally not be able to take the heat. There is evidence that this problem is starting to obstruct our view of the night sky. A study performed at the European Southern Observatory linked these temperature increases to the increasingly blurry images taken by the Very Large Telescope. The telescope cooling system was not designed for such warm conditions. During the day, the VLT's cooling system kicks in and tries to keep temperatures inside the telescope the same as the exterior at sunset in order to avoid air turbulence from temperature differences. When the daytime temperatures exceed 16 degrees Celsius, the cooling system struggles to keep up. They are particularly worried about this term called dome C. which is a reduction in resolution due to turbulence inside the dome of the telescope. On this slide, I have two images taken 22 years apart. You can see here a direct result of the loss of resolution between these two images, and it's only going to get worse as temperatures increase. Something that the hotter climate is expected to raise is humidity levels. This leads to increased cloud cover, which is an obvious problem for astronomers. It directly inhibits our ability to view the night sky, just like wildfire smoke. The increased water vapor can also inhibit certain radiation signals that is the focus of the Atacama Large Millimeter Submillimeter Array. Though this is not yet solidified, it is high possibility. The final thing that is linked to climate change currently is external air turbulence. According to a study performed by the MPIA at the ESO, the hike in temperatures is causing surface area turbulence a few tens of meters above the telescopes. It has also been linked to the increasing blurry images taken by the ESO's VLT, Very Large Telescope. Now we're going to look at future impact. Although it's impossible to say what exactly will happen in the future due to climate change, there has been many scientific predictions. Climate change has started to impact our ability to view the night sky, and these things I mentioned above will only get more severe. As for what else is in store for us in the astronomical community, these are the predictions. We are likely going to see a reduction of the astronomical signal. Astronomical signal is a part of a subfield of astronomy called radio astronomy that studies celestial objects at radio frequencies. Radio astronomers worry about interference of these radio signals because of the astoundingly weak signals they receive via the radio telescopes. Disruptions of this signal contaminate the data. More disruptions in submillimeter wavelength observations. This is a big problem for the submillimeter astronomy, as they need these wavelengths to be able to study star and galaxy formation and evolution, and it could severely inhibit our ability to do so. And finally, increasingly poor visibility. Whether it is due to wildfires, clouds, or dome seeing, the obstruction of our view to the night sky will only increase as temperatures and climate changes occur so rapidly. And finally, it is also predicted to limit our exoplanet studies. This is a big part of astronomical research. The goal of this study is to see whether or not there are exoplanets that show signs of life. But this will become more and more limited as air turbulence and cloud cover increase. Now we're going to look at how can astronomy affect climate change. We have seen how astronomy is affected by climate change, but how is climate change affected by astronomy? How can astronomy positively impact climate change in the future? Astronomers are part of the problem. An article posted by sciencemag.org states that astronomers admit that they are part of this big climate change issue we have. They take long flights to remote facilities and meetings, as well as the heavy use of energy-hungry supercomputers to do all those important cosmic simulations. Mitigation. This is something that we need to look at in the future for helping stem some of the impacts of climate change. Reducing climate change is something that astronomers have been looking at lately to help stop the flow of those heat-trapping greenhouse gases. Many facilities have reportedly started using solar power and more energy-efficient resources to help stem their impact on climate change. Solar panels. And finally, adaptation. The goal with adaptation is to help humanity survive this turbulent change in our atmosphere. We can take beneficial and not so beneficial opportunities with climate change and prepare for the worst and the best. Adaptation, however, will only get us so far. To finish up, I'd like to leave you with a quote by Nature Astronomy. There is no second Earth in our neighborhood, and that, I am afraid, is all too true. And here are my resources used. Okay. I'm open for questions now.
If you have questions, you can go ahead and put them in the chat. If you have, oh, we've got a whole bunch of people joining us. Hold on one second. If you, you should be able to like raise your hand under the reactions, put a thumbs up or a reaction of some sort, and I will change this so I can see everybody. And I can unmute you so that you can ask a question if you like. I'm not seeing any reactions and I'm not seeing any thumbs up or questions. Eric, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you're involved with the Astronomy Club?
Okay, so I am the treasurer of the Astronomy Club, and I am also a graphic design student. I'm a senior in graphic design, and I got into the Astronomy Club through a couple of friends of mine. That's how I became aware of this club. And I've always been interested in space and the study of like atmospheric changes and the night sky and constellations and all of that stuff. So the Astronomy Club was kind of like perfect for me to join.
Okay. Also in our attendees list, we have some of our other club officers. Christine, would you like to say a couple things, who you are and what your position is within the club? Oh, she's getting her audio set.
Let's see if that helps. Can we hear me?
Yes.
I hear you.
Yay. Hi. You're hearing me from McConnell Theater. We are in dress rehearsal for the tailgaze. I'm Christine. I am the Astronomy Club president. I got into astronomy because I went to my summer orientation star party, and that was a lot of fun. And I was like, oh, hey, I'm doing physics. This is a thing with a bunch of physics people, and it's really cool, and I get to do fun things. And here I am 3 years later. So I also do theater, so that's a fun time.
Michaela, I see you. Would you like to chat and tell us a little bit about you?
I'm not turning on my camera, but sure. I'm Michaela. I'm the vice president of Astronomy Club. I first joined Astronomy Club, I think probably 3 years ago now. Yeah, it was my junior year. I kind of, that year at the very beginning, the very first meeting was kind of like, hey, sign up to go camping with us. And that was kind of like my first introduction to like people in astronomy club, was I was just camping with them. So that kind of got me a very nice introduction to people. We got really close really fast. And I've been a part of it since. I became an officer later that first year I was in it. And then I've just had different positions, but I've been an officer in Astronomy Club since then.
The year that you went camping, you went up to Lions Rock. Is that the year that it snowed?
Yes. In the fall.
In the fall, yes.
We were like sitting around a little like fire and it was snowing on top of us. It was very cold.
Let's see, who else is here? Ethan has been popping in and out. I think he's got unstable internet, because I'm not seeing him in the list right now.
He just installed a new version of Ubuntu, so it might be.
Ryan is floating around.
Hello.
Here. Oh, hi.
I'm here. I have to use Emily's phone because, yeah, I think the new version of Ubuntu or Zoom doesn't like the new version of Ubuntu. Was not working for me. But yeah, hi everyone. I'm Ethan. I am a trainer at Astronomy Club, and yeah, I've been here for I joined my freshman year, and it's my 4th year now, so I've been here for quite a while. And yeah, it was really a great opportunity for me to sort of realize a passion of mine that I hadn't really gotten to explore all that much in high school. So I've definitely had a great time my 4 years here so far.
Our presenter from 2 weeks ago, Ryan.
Hello, I'm Ryan. I'm the webmaster, and this is my 3rd year in the club and at Central. I've always kind of enjoyed space and rockets and anything in that subject. And I kind of just stumbled into the club one day and never turned back. Yeah, that's my quick plug. If you would like to look at our website, I believe there's a link at the top of the chat. I'll probably channel, which feel free to subscribe to. We put up our star parties and with content, so expect new stuff soon. And yeah.
Ryan, I'm gonna find the link that you put in there. When people, the link doesn't show for people after they join. So I'm trying to find it real quick. There it is. I've got it. Okay, hang on one second.
It can also be found by searching CW Astronomy Club and going to our Facebook page.
Very true. Okay. And it does not want to paste. Okay.
I think I can
Okay.
paste it here.
There you go. Let's see. I think I saw Connor around here somewhere. There he is.
Here I am. I am the secretary this year, so I get to write down all the notes of the meetings. I joined last year because of Christine. I am her person, and she decided to drag me along to astronomy meetings, and I just sort of stuck around.
And I don't see Josh, so I believe that leaves us with Professor Falshear.
Yep. So I'm the Astronomy Club advisor, which means I just sit back and watch as the Astronomy Club members and the executive team in the club as they do everything, and I just sign the papers.
What are the opportunities in astronomy at Central?
that a question for me?
Sure.
So, in addition to participating in the astronomy club, so there's a lot to that the astronomy club offers in terms of amateur astronomy type viewing, star party, things like that. But then on the more formal side of things, so we have an astronomy minor, and the astronomy minor includes a 101 class, so Introduction to Astronomy, an observational astronomy in which students learn to use the 0.6 meter research telescope. There's stellar astrophysics, and then a research project in astronomy. And so for the research project, we've crossed the entire spectrum of available. Oftentimes we do an observational project with using the 0.6 meter research telescope on the roof of Discovery Hall. But other times we have done more theoretical work using, so making models and or combing through data that are already, that were taken with other telescopes and synthesizing those data. So there are lots of opportunities for astronomy at Central.
I see Allison. I think I'm gonna attempt this. Perkegis. She will be a new person joining the physics club. I met her during the major sphere. Allison, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, why not? It's Prekagis. It's okay. Everyone does it wrong. Yes, thank you. I don't know. I'm going to be a dance major. I'm debating double majoring in dance and a physics BA. I'm gonna minor in astronomy. Doing a lot of dance right now. I'm really, really excited that Central has astronomy, and the astronomy club sounds like it's a lot of fun. And if I have time, we'll see how my schedule is. I would love to join if my schedule allows it.
Allison, I just want to add that there's a class next winter quarter called the Physics of Dance.
I do know about that. However, I do not have room in my schedule next quarter. But I will be taking it at some point in my time here at Central because it sounds very interesting and I am very excited about it.
Felipe, I think this is like the second or third event that I've seen you attend. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you and what your interest is? Uh-oh, Felipe. Too shy? There he goes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so what was the question? I'm sorry. It was kind of...
I've seen you attend a couple of our star parties, so I just want to know what your interest is.
Well, I'm interested in kind of like science, technology, and a little bit of math. So, my teacher gave us this website to register for this meeting. So, I attended it, and so far I do like it. So I'm interested in this.
And where are you joining us from?
I'm from Texas.
Okay. All right. So I think he's our far winner today. Anybody else further than Texas from Ellensburg, Washington? Thank you. Is it Aliyah? Thank you for joining us. Jonah, I'm gonna ask you what your interest is in physics or in astronomy or even in the presentations.
Hi all. Quite honestly, I don't really know much about anything. I just really like looking at the stars. It's kind of more of a personal pastime that I do. But I saw this course going around and I got really curious and I figured to try it out.
Where are you joining us from?
I'm from Cleella.
Ah, okay. right up the road.
Yeah.
And I see about, is it Mater? You're joining us from Toledo, Ohio. Ah, so oh my goodness, it's late where you are. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your interests?
Oh, I've been interested in stars since I was a very, very little girl. My great aunt taught me constellations, and I've always had that interest for a long time. She actually saw Comet Halley twice, which I thought was pretty amazing. So I asked her about it when I went out comet hunting for that. It was disappointing, but I can say I saw it. Just anything in the sky is of interest. And I got this invitation a while ago, and I got it maybe last month, and I thought, hey, I'd join in for a little bit. So just the interest alone, it's not like I study it. I've been working with a student though, tutoring them on it. Like I don't know a whole lot, but helping them out. So
Okay.
thank you.
You're quite welcome. If there are topics that you guys have an interest in that you would like the students to research, you can go to the website and leave a comment there on the YouTube channels and leave a comment there or in the chat. The students pick the topics, they do the research, and then they do the presentations on it. So the topics are usually really timely and current event type things. It is 8:36. Oh, how did I do that? Professor Smith, where are you joining us from and what's your interest in astronomy?
Well, I am a physics professor at Green River Community College in Auburn, and I am also a graduate of the physics program at Central Washington University. I was there back when we were not in Discovery Hall, back when we were in Lind Hall. And yeah, I helped out with a lot of astronomy events back then. I was an astronomy minor. I did the star parties. I set up the telescopes, and it was really fun. That was the place that sparked my interest in astronomy, and it helped that the sky in Ellensburg was so clear. You could always go out and observe things about 90% of the time. And the professors were very, very helpful and cared about their students and would show you how to go about making observations and making sense of everything. So I loved it, and I actually returned there to teach for a few years. I've since been to Walla Walla Community College, and I'm currently at Green River, but I still come back every so often to give parties and planetarium shows. I have one about alien world science fiction and exoplanets that I like to come back and give once or twice a year. I
know that mug you're drinking out of.
Oh, yes, yes. Oh, what's this? Yes. Actually, I think I got this for helping out with one of the star parties.
Yes.
It was either that or I got one for star party, and I got one for a
Oh, I got you too. Oh my God, don't tell anybody. Those are like gold.
Well, unfortunately, the other one I had this gray one. I have this gray one. I had a black one too, but back at Walla Walla when I was teaching there, mugs had a way of just disappearing if you accidentally left them someplace, and so I lost like 3 mugs that way, including that one. And yeah. So
hopefully
I decided after
one,
that I wasn't going to bring any value mug to school anymore.
Well, hopefully the black one was the one that says College of the Sciences, because that one you didn't get from me. But if it was a gray one, that came from me.
The gray one I think this one was from you. Yeah.
Are there any more questions or anything else anybody wants to talk about? I think I got. Oh no. We have a new person that joined us, Mary Gray. Where are you joining us from, and what's your interest in astronomy?
I'm joining you from a little bitty town called Carson, Mississippi.
Ooh, how'd you find out about this?
Somebody sent me an email, I think. an
Ooh.
announcement about the physics department or something. Well, I teach chemistry and have taught physics. I've also taught biology, but I've always been interested in the planetary, whatever's going on up in the sky.
Mhm.
And I coach several robotics teams.
I know.
And we're
Were you?
competing in the NASA
Mhm.
roads on Mars and roads on asteroids. So I need to know a little
Yep.
bit about what's going on up there.
As soon as when you said Mississippi, I was like I'm part of NESB also. And so I was like, if she was part of that, then that's where I got your name and address from.
Oh,
Are you going to be doing the roads on asteroids this year?
yes.
All
Yes.
right. Oh, it's a really cool competition this year. And what grades do you work with?
10 through 12.
Okay, cool. Did I get everybody? Does anybody else want to speak up or have any comments? No? Well, that's our presentation. Our next event is on November 7th, and it should be the first Saturday of the month at noon. We have two interns from our Teach STEM program. It's a program where students learn to be teachers, and they graduate with a 4-year degree in Washington that is recognized, that allows them to teach at the high school level, middle school level also, and they can do geology, physics, math, computer science, middle level, secondary level math. Which other ones am I missing? Oh, biology, chemistry, any of those main sciences, and then they have the Teach STEM minor or the Teach STEM major attached with it, and they're able to teach. And so they will be doing The Life of Stars is their presentation. Will run about 45 minutes to an hour, and it will be the equivalent to a dome show virtually. So they have that they're planning, and that'll be noon on the 7th. Then our last star party of the fall quarter will be on November 10th. So 3 weeks from now, 2 weeks, I'm sorry, 2 weeks from now. And it'll be at 8 o'clock again. And I will, since you've registered for one of these, you'll be on the mailing list, which sounds like you already are, and you'll get an update for both of those events. Anybody else have anything else to say or any other comments? Christine?
I've got a quick note for anybody who's in Ellensburg and has been receiving our emails or has been to a meeting talking about in-person viewing. Currently that is being postponed because I have not heard back in the slightest from student engagement, so we haven't gotten the okay. So that's being pushed back. I am working on getting all of that together currently to be adjusted. If anybody on campus, student, staff, faculty, have any interest, please email the Astronomy Club, and I will work on compounding a list of people who would like to come to the roof because it's been a long time. And if we can get the okay, I think it'd be great for everyone.
Christine, you made me remember about one other thing. We've got the pumpkin drop coming up. We're doing the virtual pumpkin drop on the 14th. We're looking for sponsors for pumpkins. Would love to have the Astronomy Club sponsor a pumpkin, but more information from that event will be coming out also.
Please email me. Would love to do that.
We do, in the past, we have done stargazing following the star parties, but because we are under COVID restrictions right now, we're not able to bring out our telescopes or bring people up to the rooftop. As Christine was saying, we were attempting to do small groups of 10 or less, but unfortunately we have not been given the approval yet from our club administration for that. If that does happen, you all will be some of the first to know because we are very excited to get that going. And with that, thank you very much for joining us this evening. We appreciate your support Hope to see you at another one. Please stay safe, mask up, wash your hands, follow social distancing and guidelines, and we will see you at our next event. Thank you very much for joining us.